to me in a way I could understand. Then they start seeing profits. The reason
was an important factor in delaying the ground offensive against the city. Egypt has reportedly invited an Israeli delegation to Cairo as part of ongoing negotiations to reach an agreement on the return of hostages held by Hamas, with the Hamas faction expected to attend. In the context of this meeting, Israel issued a final warning to Hamas to hand over the 33 hostages. Egyptian officials shared important assessments on this issue. The Egyptian foreign minister said that he was hopeful for a new proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza as the Hamas delegation was in Cairo for talks. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Riyadh, Sameh Shoukry said that the proposal takes into account the positions of both sides and seeks to achieve moderation. Egypt was also very concerned about a possible ground invasion of a settlement within its borders. Therefore, Cairo was putting all its efforts into a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. But what was important was how Hamas would respond to this proposal. Hamas's response had the potential to significantly influence whether the Rafah operation would be launched or not. Finally, the expected answer came. A senior Hamas official told a pro-Hezbollah Lebanese news station that his group saw little chance of accepting Israel's recent offer to release the hostages without fundamental changes. In the absence of a positive response to the deal, Israel has pushed the button and has begun to send important messages about a 48-hour deadline for a ground offensive on Rafah. It was suggested that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu would order Israeli troops to launch an urgent attack during this time and lead a ground offensive to destroy Hamas elements in Rafah. Now all the cards had been played and the dynamics in the region were being determined. Israeli officials made one statement after another on this issue. Foreign Minister Israel Katz made some important remarks after saying that the terms that are about to be communicated to Hamas will include a second phase that will examine an end to the war in exchange for the release of additional hostages beyond the initial 33. Without elaborating on these terms, Mr. Katz explained that Israel did not accept Hamas's demands in Egypt and presented its own conditions for an agreement. According to Khan, the Egyptian delegation is still in Israel and is in intensive talks with senior Israeli defense officials. But the war bells are already ringing. This situation had exhausted Egypt's last hopes. It was Egypt that would be most affected by an Israeli attack on Rafah. The risk of an operation in Rafah spilling across the border could bring the Egyptian and Israeli armies face to face. In self-defense,